break some boundaries, hopefully. If it just is going to go into my attic, it breaks my heart.
Yeah,
I have to adjust it over, and he'll be
worse.
like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'll just pull open a drawer. We'll be talking about stuff. He's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, here." He's like, "What is this? I've never seen this. This is amazing. Do you just do this?" I'm like, "Dude, that piece is 6 years old. I don't want anybody to look at that." He's like, "What are you talking? We got in a pretty fierce debate." I'm like, I was just tossing things like, "I'll give her this. I'll give her this."
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
"What? No, don't do that. It's what are you talking about? What are you?" Rah, rah, rah.
See, that's-
And it felt kind of good, but at the same time, I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I make hundreds and hundreds of paintings a year."
Yeah.
And I live with them. They're the ghosts that haunt me. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but I mean, the great thing about having them is at some point the opportunity's going to come along, and you may want to show that growth, the retrospect. So you had
Some of
a
it,
huge
yeah.
space, and they said bring in as much as you want. And would you not want a group?
Oh, but that's not an issue here. I'm literally talking, without
Yeah,
exaggeration,
I'm guessing
hundreds.
That's hard for me to grasp because if I do 50 paintings a year, that's a lot. Just because
Sure.
my-
Yeah. No. You're everything about it. Yeah. No. I make so much work, and most of it, the vast majority of it, when I'm making it, I feel good about it, and I do take some comfort in that. But when I feel enslaved to it later on, I pull it out, and I'll still go like, well, I remember that fondly, but I can't show this now. I wouldn't put this in a show as if this was, now it's shelved. I was like, that's a little bit more primitive than what, again, as an artifact of my development. It's neat. You can put it in that book, or like, hey, check out all this nonsense. Or you could watch and see, this is 2016 at a glance. You'd be like, wow, look at the growth.
Yeah,
That's neat.
I don't get. It's not like I pull out an old painting unless it's something very kitschy. Now those paintings, I want them to disappear.
Yeah.
There was a while there, especially in my process, trying to figure out where it was going to go. All I did was like, kitchen type paintings. Here's a pear.
Yeah.
Here's a banana. Here's these still lifes individuals, and they were all small. And I did those. I mean, that was because they was quick and easy for me. I did a bunch of them, and I sold a few. I did a lot of hearts. I don't know how many hearts I did and sold. I sold a bunch of them.
Sure.
Yeah, just because it was easy subject for me to do. It helped me do the process and experiment a little bit, and then once I figured out what worked and what didn't work, then I started growing to other things. And then I look back at like 2011. I did my first architectural series. It was a small one. But the paintings were like 16 by 20s, and they're not great. But I look back at them now, and I kind of dig them. I think they're so loose, even though maybe they're real loose looking because I had no control of the process at that time.
Probably.
I was still figuring things out. Now I'm so tight.
Now you're trying. Like,
it's so different.
Back into
Sometimes I look back at those and I think maybe that's the direction I need to go back to, because that was the whole reason I went into this process with the beeswax, because I had no control. I didn't know what I was doing because nobody else was doing it. And when I was doing acrylic paintings, I wanted to be this surrealist and be real tight, and I couldn't figure out the whole working with acrylic paint or oil paint. One dries too fast, one goes too slow. By the time you mix all the medium in it to get to the point I like it, it was a different texture, and it was more about the medium. Me trying to figure it out, and I probably could have done some research. It'd probably been easier to have done that, and got better at doing that process. But instead, I'm doing something else, and luckily,
maybe that's what you need to do.
The wax thing kind of worked out over the years, and it turned into a full-time thing.
Well, there's a big difference between struggle and work, and I think for me that's when I feel like I'm struggling in a piece, where I'm just like, I can't make this breakthrough. I don't know what I'm doing here. I find that normally I'm painting something I don't want to be painting, or working in a way that is counterintuitive to what I want. I don't mind putting work in. I don't mind it being difficult and challenging, but it's that sense of being aware that when I struggle, we're like, what? Yeah, exactly. What am I getting out of this? Why am I doing it? nah, maybe I should redirect. So in that case, it sounds like very much like with you. Like, this is not working. What about this? Volcano career opening up that you just see the path.
I've had that happen in a painting I've been working on. When I start a big painting, it's so just, it's kind of like getting ready to climb Mount Everest, and you look up and you're like, that's a long ways up. And when I lay out a big painting, I'm like, oh, good God. And I'm like, all right, just cut the first piece of paper, let's get this going. And then before long, I'm lost into this process. And I always start out with something really easy. I don't have to think about it. And then before long, I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling it today. I'm going to hit this hard spot right here.
Nice.
And I'm going to do these tiny details. And then there's times I get to a point in the painting, I'm like, I'm looking over it. And that's when things really magical happen. Because I'm tired of working on it. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care about detail here. I'm just going to put a freaking piece of paper right here. I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to use this color. It doesn't even match what I've been doing. I don't even want to feel like looking through magazines. I'm just grabbing the first piece and using it. And then when I get done with the painting, I reveal it. And then I see all these really cool textures. And I'm like, that's where I just didn't give a shit. I just picked up a piece of paper. And it's got, maybe some weird text in it. Instead of using the right color of blue, it's got bright orange.
Oh, yeah. No, hopefully that informs it.
That's the thing that when somebody's looking at a piece from a distance, they're like, oh, that looks like, what the hell, how's it made? Then they got to look up close, and then they're like, oh, it's collage.
Well, that's like the Wayne White stuff we're talking about.
Exactly.
Like they went from doodles to some sort of weird magic eye. That's great.
They're so loose, and those two that were side by side up in the entrance, the one on the left was almost, I think it was completely abstract.
Mm-hmm.
But the one beside it was abstract that turned into figures.
Yeah, you
They
just
had
saw a little
detail.
something popping out.
And then, of course, the one inside that back room, it had the same effect. It was doodles that turned into a face. And a lot of detail in that face, too.
Yeah, no.
But it had so much texture and depth because of all those different lines and colors he used. I didn't even look, were those like watercolor or just?
I'm not sure if they were watercolor or marker or some sort of
because they had
gouache.
some solid areas of
Yeah.
color, not just drawing. Yeah, that was amazing. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Gabby's got the good burgers.
Gabby's does have the good burgers. All right.
That was good. We're done.
Yeah.
We'll edit
Cheers.
this.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.